Hey, check out this clip from the Pre-Patch podcast.
Enigma, you're going to be up first. You actually have been playing a game called NecroKing. Not heard about this one.
Yeah,
What is
this will be a quick one.
NecroKing?
I'm surprised you haven't heard about this one. You really like the deck builder like roguelikes.
I do.
This is right up that alley. It's a deck building roguelike, turn-based strategy tactics type style
Holy
game.
shit. Anything else you want to add into that?
right.
It's a battle royale survival.
Yeah, there you go. It's got PvP aspects in it, you know.
But it's a real game.
But this is all about necromancy. You guys already know I love my necromancy stuff. I had to play it. I looked at it. It was on sale over the weekend I think this is a game you played at one point. It was like Wall World, I think was the name of it.
Yeah,
I think you played it.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to play that when it came out, so I'm glad that it went on sale with this one. I think it's made by the same developer, if I'm not mistaken. But
Nice.
let me just check on that. I forget that sorry, I'm not turning away from you guys.
Motherfuckers, you can put a monitor in front of you, bro.
I gotta grab my Steam. I gotta grab my Steam from the back.
Break his neck to go to another monitor.
Damn it. Can we get a GoFundMe to get Enigma a monitor from front?
I have two monitors. I just have a big monitor back there, and I forget that it pops over onto that. Yeah, this is developed by Koro Games, and I don't believe that they actually made Wall World, so I have no idea why they're packaged.
It may
with
just
each
be.
other,
I mean, a lot of games do that. They bundle together.
Yeah.
Whatever it is. Yeah, this is again, like I said, it's a roguelike. It's a deck builder. You're a necromancer. Your deck is essentially your undead servants. So you've got skeleton archers, you've got skeletal riders, spearmen, basic skeletons that literally just go up and bitch slap people. I found that fucking hilarious. They have like 3 health and they just walk up and go pow, and
is that literally their spell ability is called bitch slap?
Pretty much. But the cool thing is that like you build up your deck based off of like the collection of undead spirits that you have, and as you're going through these ranks and everything like that, you're actually combining your undead minions to make new minions. So like later on down the road, I think I got a healer by combining like a certain aspect that you can do to heal people in the field, and I believe it was a bard skeleton, and then you combine those two and you get a healing skeleton, like a cleric skeleton. Don't ask me how that
You know what this game
correlates.
reminds me of? It reminds me of a game called Inscription.
It looks like one of the mini games from that.
Very much the art style of that mini game for sure. Yeah,
I was getting kind of Loop Hero art style, but I dig it too.
I'm getting like Plants vs Zombies, bro. Like the
in a way,
levels, yeah.
But yeah, you got like you have to like look at the people, like the enemies that are on the field, and kind of match them up with your specific minions. So if you'll notice that like that skeleton with the shield has a 10 on top of it, that's how much health they have, but that's also how much damage they will do as well. Like it correlates to how much damage they'll do as well if that specific skeleton actually did attacks. That one is more meant for like you put it down in a field, and the enemy will target that skeleton first. So it's kind of like a frontline tank almost, that takes all the damage, and then it lets the other skeletons kind of do all the be able to do their damage without getting attacked and everything like that.
I have a question. So whenever you're going into your attacking phase, like you have like a big open area that's like 1 2 3 4, right? Obviously 5, whatever. But I'm noticing that they're on different, it looks like they're on different like rows. So like you have the columns being 1 2 3 4 5, and then the rows are like, do you have to be in the same row to attack that, or do they attack adjacent?
Yes. Like unless you're ranged. So again, like the very early game, ranged is like your skeletons have like slings, and they can only attack things that are adjacent to them. Later on you can get like archers that can attack further away and everything like that. But yes, normally each of those rows, you have to be in the same row as each other, unless you have ranged attacks or magical attacks to attack each other. Those rows also correlate with like certain minions can only be placed in certain rows. So like the skeletal horseman has to be all the way back in the back row, like the very last row, because they charge. That's and cool. They build up power as they charge. So the further that they can go with charging, the more damage that they will do when they get to that specific line.
There's a lot of
lane whenever they damage.
Yeah, from
tons of
just
strategy,
looking
man.
at it, I'm like, man, it's a lot of nuances that once you get a hang of it, I could see that this could be.
And it's like
fairly
this
fun.
is only a small selection of the this is a very introductory selection of the minions. I think later on I got like a vampire of some sort. It was like a vampire minion at like the very end of my first run, and that thing was dope because like the animation for it moving, it turns into a bat and then moves. And when it attacks, it like attacks him with its cloak almost, and like does a shit ton of damage. That's like an end game boss. I think I use that as like my end game to finish off this first level. So it was really cool. It does have a kind of a cool system as well. You have a certain amount of turns to defeat the enemy, right? Later on. I don't know if they have it on this first little one because this is kind of like the introductory, but later on they have like waves and then they have turns based on that wave presence, right? If you go past the turns, you get a thing called nightmares, and they're these like creatures, like these nightmare creatures, blobs that have 10 health and do 10 damage a fucking hit, and they just continuously spawn if you take too
Jesus.
long. So,
So it's like a timed mechanic where you want
it's
to not take your time.
You want to
get
try
through
and
it.
take as much time or as little time as possible, or
Yeah.
else if you get to the nightmare phase, you have an option of leaving, but it takes half of your deck. So if you're not at like a section, like if you don't have a decent amount of cards and a decent army, and you get to that point, you can either sacrifice half your deck, which is a huge hit because then you have to go out and go to these graveyards and go and attack more towns and everything like that to recoup your resources and everything like that, just to go back and do that original
Do you know if you
attack,
get
right?
if you get like any extra resources for killing the nightmare phase or something, or
I don't know. I didn't complete it. It's way
Gotcha.
fucking difficult. Like it is hard
Yeah.
as shit because I didn't have, when I went into the nightmare phase, I didn't have anything that could really deal with the nightmares.
gotcha.
They have 10 health, and I like my highest hitting minion was like an 8 or a 7, and so I just could not overpower it. Like once they started spawning and they keep spawning, it just overran me. So
Because I like when games add that like forced like difficulty, like timed mechanic, but I also enjoy when they give you like a chance, like if you do beat it, you get like extra shit out of it, you know.
I mean,
think
I
that's
wouldn't
cool.
doubt it. It would definitely be cool if you did. I
Yeah.
want to continue playing it and kind of get a little bit further into it because I got to the second phase, which is like a spider phase, right? Like it's all about like spider minions, and I was like, fuck that, I don't like spiders. But
This is
it was difficult.
I like this mechanic here that you've got where you're combining all, like you talked about a little bit about combining all of the
that was
different-
what I was talking about. Yep.
Is it kind of just like, you know, you have to stick to a certain type of combining, or can you kind of like really like get imaginative and like try to combine these two and kind of really
not
build your own-
really.
Oh.
I wish that it was like that. Yeah, I do wish it was like that, but from everything that I've seen, it's pretty box standard. You get to get X minion, you have to put together, you know, or to get C minion, you have to put together A and B minion. Like there's no, as far as I've seen, at least, there's not really any like hey, if I want to put a skeletal horseman with a fucking priest, what do I get when I put those together?
Oh,
right?
that would be cool.
I think that would be dope though. I
Yeah.
really do wish that they had gone down that route and been like, you can make like a skeletal healer, right?
Yeah.
Or like a paladin or something like that, right? That would be really fucking cool. Like a Dark Knight, if you could do that.
Is there
almost.
any like corruption like you can do to like people that like minions you kill? Like, can you like corrupt them and make them part of like your army at all, or no?
So not that I've seen, but there is a little thing later on down the road that like minions, as you'll be combating, you'll see like little like enemies with like little blue like spirits hovering above their name or above their head. Those, if you kill those, you get extra spirits, and spirits
that's
are
cool.
required to summon minions.
Oh, okay.
So in
Cool.
order to summon minions, you have 3 different or 2 different inside of combat. You have 2 different sources. You have to have spirit and you have to have mana, and then on top of that, you have to have enough in your deck to be able to summon whatever you're trying to summon. So
okay, cool.
that, as far as I've seen, that's the furthest you get. There are status effects. Like when I was attacking the spiders, there was spiders that were putting down like webs that made it so that I couldn't move outside of a certain lane, and I couldn't attack. So it kind of screwed me because they can't move to attack. But I'm sure that later on down the road they will have something along those lines. It's a really fun game, man, and it's like I think it's like $3 right
Yeah,
now.
it's
like
regularly
$3.24.
Yeah, it's regularly
that's a steal.
$5. You can get it for $3.34,
Wow,
or you
crazy.
can get
Or-
Wall World and NecroKing for $4.80.
And
Well, I
NecroKing.
own it. I think it's $11 or something. I don't know.
Yep.
So it's $4.89 for
Nine.
me. Yeah,
Or
$9
something like
okay.
that. Yeah, it's somewhere
Yeah.
around there. But yeah, they've got that on sale right now. I think that like even at $5, like I think
I was
you'd
gonna
have
say
a really
that
good
I
time
think
with it.
I think I've seen games that are like more than that, and you get less quality than this.
Yeah,
It's like
for
this,
sure.
this is a steal for $5. I'd even say they could
For
up it
sure.
to like 10 to 15, and I'd probably
I think
still
they could
buy it.
too. Yeah, I think they could too. So it's made by developed by Coral Games, and it's being published by Adelar, I think is
Yeah.
the name of it. Adelar. Released
good on them.
September 4th of 2024.
Nice.
So they've been out for a minute, and I like, again, really good game. And it seems like this Adelar publisher comes out with a lot of these games. Have you heard of that Karate Survivors that came out recently? It's like a Jackie Chan.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, it's like a Jackie Chan Vampire Survivors. They make that, and I've heard that is exquisitely fun. Like I actually want to go and pick it up. It's like $5.
fun.
Exquisite.
Yeah.
Word of the day.
But yeah, go check it out. NecroKing.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed the patch notes. And if you want to see more from the Pre-Patch Podcast, don't forget to check us out live every Thursday night at 10:30 p.m. Eastern, or at anchor.fm/Pre-Patch Podcast, or wherever podcasts are listened to. Hope to see you there. Much love.